This book is divided into two parts. In the part 1, which comprises 5 chapters, is about the search for yourself, which is your higher self with a big S. So in the first chapter, Swamiji gives this straight message: simply let go. He said, when you become a seeker, it means you have begun the search for the ultimate. You have begun the search to find yourself. And it is at this time that all the desire that pull you to the outer world leaves you. You no longer feel that whatever in the outer appeals to you. The only desire that remains is the desire for deep fulfillment. The fulfillment of your being becomes the very first priority. So in this chapter, he gives a lot of powerful cognition. He said, allow the master to work on you. And he said that move around the world with complete awareness without clinging to anything. The clinging or attachment to anything out in the outer world make you miss what is really important for the purpose you have descended on planet Earth. He said, then have the courage to take the jump into the unknown. Drop all the fear. Courage is what you need to jump. And then he said, live innocently in the space of the master and trust him no matter what he says. And fundamentally, the master is within you. He resides within all of us because he and the source are one and the same. He's the formless in form. So that is the essence of the first chapter. The next chapter, second chapter, the recap for second chapter, he said, wake up. First, he gives you the powerful cognition that, hey, you're on this journey to search for your true self. Now, you need to wake up because you're dreaming, you're in slumber, you're living in dream. You have forgotten the reality. So this is the message in this second chapter. He said, see, as of now, your candle is unlit. It means the flame within you is not there, it's covered. So, coming close to the master, the realized one, whose flame is lit, he said, by becoming the disciple, he lights your inner flame. He lights basically your fire of seeking to realize who you truly are. The master gives that, I would say, lights that intensity for seeking. He makes you discover seeking is more important than anything else in the outer world. So in this chapter, he said the master-disciple relationship is the deepest of all the relationships that you experience because it is coming from a totally different realm altogether. It can only be experienced. You can't talk about it much because it is experiential. And he said, Master will love you regardless of what you do. Understand? The Master, his embodiment of nothing but love and compassion. So the Master is the embodiment of the compassion. His expression is compassion. He is love. So when your anger and your possessiveness disappear, the real love will start to happen. So one of the work that he works on us is to make us complete with all the angers and possessiveness, the pattern of anger and possessiveness, so that the real love can flower within us. The heart chakra can be totally open to radiate and overflow with the love energy. So he said, simply surrender all your mood swings, all your moods to the master, whether you're happy, whether you are at the other extreme sad. So don't just only surrender the negative moods, even the positive moods, just surrender everything. So he said, find your inner space to experience bliss, because bliss is your true nature. Ananda is our true nature. So that is what we need to seek, experience of the self, which is nothing but bliss. See, When we talk about joy and happiness, we always depend on something in the external world, whether it's an object for sense pleasure or some person. So, but bliss happens inside without anything from external world. It's just a overflowing of energy, the bliss energy from within, which is part of your Atma, which is your soul. So it just become a flower, like how a flower just becomes so delicate. Say, make your heart and being available to the Master. Nothing more is needed. So all he is asking, be open, be available to the Master, and we can start the process of waking up. Next, in the 3rd chapter, next slide, he said, let go of it all. That means let go of everything that you have been conditioned, programmed by the society, by the parents, by the teachers, whatever that you have been programmed. He said, let go of all this, all of it. He said, see, because of this programming created this pseudo identity, the artificial, and which creates your ego. What you associate yourself as this body mind is the ego. He said the only thing that is holding you back from this ultimate experiencing of the search for yourself is your ego. He says simply surrender all your ideologies, all your beliefs, all the conditioning to the Master. Then your individuality will be revealed to you. Okay, that means your true nature can only be unfolded to you unless you start offloading all that you have built up, all the dust you have collected. So being a disciple means what? Surrender. You are here to surrender, nothing more. It means that you no longer resist, you simply let go and take the jump. Actually, he says the Master is just a channel for all of us to drop the ego. He's just the link for us to drop the ego. Your being yearns to surrender itself to its source, that is Cosmo. But right now, because Cosmo, what you talk about is like a formula, so you don't know how to surrender. You are not able to surrender. So that's the reason why Enlightened Master has to descend again and again on planet Earth, not only initiating disciples on this path of seeking, but also be the form to take us to the formless. So only when you feel nothing but love and openness while sitting in front of the Master have you surrendered. This is the yardstick. This is the gauge. He said that when you just sit in front of the Master, you just feel an overflowing of love and openness towards him. Then that is an indication that you have surrendered. If you sit with him, you feel a lot of fear or a lot of anger towards the Master for making you do this, for making you incomplete. When you have that kind of complication inside you in terms of, patterns and also emotion, be very clear. You have not surrendered. So that is one indication he gives. Next slide. So in the chapter 4, he said, then move from the head to the heart. Because the heart is where, at the end of the day, you have to answer to yourself. Because the body and the mind would cease to exist the moment you exit the body. That means at the point of death. The heart is where the soul is residing. That means in the sense that what you feel through to your being. So that's why he said, move from the head, the logic, and the intellect to the heart, your being. Where your Atman is responding. He said the very nature of true love is unconditional. It is directed to no one and nothing, simply flows for no reason. It is an overflowing because you feel the deep connection between you and existence. So Only when you start opening your heart, be open to feel the existence and the compassion of existence. When you start feeling that deep connection, then that's where you start to become sensitive. You start to overflow with love as well. See, until this happens, your love will always be directed to a particular thing and cannot be called love because it's conditional. It is not unconditional. See, unconditional love, it means costless love. It just flows without a reason. It doesn't decide who I want to flow my love to. It is just overflowing. So he said that you should feel the bliss, only then you can spread the bliss to others. If you don't feel, you have never experienced the bliss, you only send blisters to people. It means cause people to suffer and torture people. So only when you experience Ananda, the bliss, you can spread that to others. So do some awareness meditation to dissolve your mind. This is in this chapter we did, meditation, the breath watching meditation, if you still remember. And he said you go through many different phases with the master and you will all pass. He'll take us through the peaks and troughs. It's like a roller coaster ride. But that's okay. Everything will pass once you have the awareness to go through the different evolution that he's taking us, the journey. So he said when the openness comes, you will stay. Openness comes only with awareness. So again and again, emphasize the word awareness. Only when you're aware, you can see things clearly. When you see things clearly, you'll be open to allow the master to work on you. Okay, chapter 5, next slide. So in chapter 5, after moving from head to the heart, he says, start silencing your mind. Because the mind is constantly bubbling with thoughts due to incompletions, hangovers. He said, to be with the master means to be playful. Don't be too serious. When you're centered on your head or intellect, you tend to be too serious, result-oriented, driven by performance. What rewards and awards you get. Because when you're centered on the intellect or the logic, he said, no, just be playful with the master. He said, the moment you become serious, you have missed it. Because the whole journey is meant to be playful. The master is there to simply take away this seriousness in you and show you the way to enjoy. Because life is wonderful, life is beautiful, it's for us to enjoy. But when you have become too serious due to the societal conditioning, you become stiff in front of the master. You can't allow yourself to be playful. That's why when you see the Gurukul kids, how they are so playful in front of Swamiji. They are just like a child, they don't have any, thoughts about how they should behave in front of Swamiji. They just be. So he said, Master is trying to make you a child again, filled with innocence and spontaneity, but you go on resisting. So you coming back to the space of innocence, the space of the child is his work. So he said, don't resist that, because only when you come back to the innocence and that spontaneity, you become intelligent again. Otherwise, you become societal. You're conditioned by society. So when you come to the master, he gives you a new birth. A new birth in Sanskrit, we call it Dvija. Dvija means twice born. You're born again. I remember when I went to Swamiji for the first program in Bidadi in 2006, July. I did the Nithyananda Spuruna program, the 4-day program. And literally in that program is actually you go through a death process, and after the 4 days, I really feel that I have a new body, a new mind. I literally feel that I was reborn. And not only feeling a new body and mind, he healed my stage 3 cervic cancer. So I was just, it's no joke, it's just amazing how the experience of new birth by the Guru's grace. And then he said, you'll be reborn with innocence and openness that will never leave you. This is so true. Before I met Swamiji, I used to be so uptight and serious and, very driven. Just like how a corporate executive would be driven, sometimes very mean. So only after coming to Swamiji, then he made me discover the innocence and openness. So completely transformed many of us. So the more silent your mind becomes, the clearer things become. So again and again, enter into the silence, which is our true state, our original nature, which is silence. It's only when the mind is, constantly bubbling with thoughts, with noise inside you, you're not able to see things clearly, you're distracted. So the whole point of meditation, in yoga and meditation, is to make you silent your mind so that you can start to experience samadhi. Sama means falling in tune, adi means the source. So samadhi means falling in tune with the source. So more and more silence you are able to bring into your inner space, the more and more clarity you will have, and more powerfulness you will radiate. Next chapter, 6. So in chapter 6, we start part 2 of the book, which focus on falling into the emptiness. The silence is also emptiness. So he says in the chapter 6, shoveling through the dirt, which means, see, your mind accumulate a lot of dust, okay, all the conditioning, all the patterns, all the hangovers. So he said the mind is artificial. It was created after you have landed in this body. It is pseudo. It is not natural. So you must simply make the transition from the artificial to the natural, which is from the logic to the spontaneity, from the outside to your innermost core, which is your being. So that is the focus in chapter 6, where he gave the right understanding that life should be used as an opportunity to grow. A person can grow only when there is freedom. Understand, always seek freedom, because when you feel enslaved, be very clear, any enslavement means you are not conscious. It means you're no longer established in consciousness. So you need to have that freedom, feel the freedom. So whenever that you feel that you're being suffocated, you feel that you're not being given the freedom to express or do what you want, then you need to seriously look in. Because you can only grow, expand when you experience freedom. Okay? So being with the master means peeling this outer layer off and uncover what is covered by society, which is within you. And you must rediscover what is originally there already. It is not something that you create. It is something that's already there. It's just been covered by layers and layers and layers of dust, which you have forgotten the inner light. That was, he said, the veil that covers the inner light. So we need to peel off that layer. Once all the dirt has been polished, has been cleansed, bliss surfaces, you just experience the bliss, which your very nature. And you suddenly will remember who you are. You are no different from the source, which is Paramashivam. Chapter 7, next. So in chapter 7, he said, all right, let's break the wall. Besides cleaning up the dust, You build a lot of wall. You need to break the wall if you have created layers and layers of walls that you create like a fortress. You know how a fortress nobody can access. So he said, being a disciple means to be open enough to feel the grace of the master. The moment the disciple falls in tune with the master, the transformation has already started. So learn to fall in tune with the master. Whatever he says, whatever he recommends, whether it's lifestyle changes, whether it's certain practice, start doing it. Because only when you start doing it, you will be able to flow with the master. So he said, it is only the opening that must be done. He said, this is the thing, you need to be open for the transformation to happen. You should first open yourself, that is the basic thread. Openness to the master's alchemy, the alchemy of transformation. Say once someone has jumped, he said, my work on them is over. That means once you have started to jump into his side, be very clear, his work is over on you. That means you just cruising. You know how cruising? How when you drive the car, you have to put first gear, second gear, third gear. Then after that, there's a cruising gear. You just sit and chill and the car will just move by itself. That is the cruising gear that we should get into. Once you have taken the jump, you just enjoy the life with the master and he will just take care of everything. That is the cruising state that once you have taken, taken the leap of faith, the jump, the quantum jump. You say, because once the jump is taken, you simply have to land. Wherever you land will be the right place. He will take care. Drop this belief and trust that arise if it has to. So drop all those nonsensical beliefs that your mind will fabricate, your mind will make you think, and your mind will make you feel frightened. He said, no, just trust whatever arises, and if it has to, just let it happen and just go through it. For you to drop the doubting mind, you must first drop all your beliefs, because the belief is what made out of the mind, right? Because your mind is conditioned by many things from the past. So drop all this belief that you hang on with a dear life thinking that it's you. Drop all that nonsense. So work intensely such that you are willing to give your life for the experience. We just say work intensely for your transformation. Work intensely to evolve your consciousness so that you experience the ultimate. That is the chapter 7, breaking the wall. Next. And then we did 2 chapters, 8 and 9, because both were very short chapters. He said, now you have it, and the operation room. This is the part where he talked about that fundamentally we all have to realize our presence. That means our consciousness. See, no one is going to give you the help. No one is going to, make it happen for you. You have to make it happen by yourself, only yourself, because you're responsible. So it is a long journey which you have to go through, and you have to go through it alone. Alone means not loneliness, okay? Alone means because as a soul, you have to do this, you have to tread this path by yourself, okay? And life, he said, life with me, Swamiji said, will be ecstatic. It means full of excitement, but equally challenging as well. It means don't think that you will be bed of roses all the time. While you're in the high of excitement and enthusiasm, there will bound to be a lot of challenges that, that come along the way that you need to learn how to go beyond it. Because he said, my work is to cause chaos in you. I'm not here to make you easy and comfortable in your comfort zone. He said, no, I'm supposed to cause all the chaos in you and break all your patterns, your conditioning, so social conditioning, which you have built all the years, and show that what you are really made of. So that is the master's work, breaking all your patterns. This is the surgery that he's talking about. The tumor, he's the master surgeon who is supposed to cut the tumor. Your tumor is your ego, and the ego is made of all your past conditioning and your patterns. So for the master to do the operation, you cannot run away from the operation room. The moment you decide to become a disciple or seeker, you have decided to enter into the operation room for the master to work on you. Okay? Next, chapter 10, last week we covered. So he said, then uncover yourself. After the operation, you will start discovering who you truly are. He said, understand. To tell you honestly, you're not going to surrender to me. We don't surrender to the master. We say, oh, we surrender, but actually, the disciple never surrendered to the master. He only surrendered to himself. It means you surrender to you yourself, your higher self. He said the moment you surrender to the master, you will be thrown back to yourself, because the master is the reason for you to surrender to yourself. The master is the so-called the path back to yourself. He's the key. He's the link. He said only when you start loving the master, devotion to the master, Guru Bhakti, then suddenly he can lead you to the Atman Bhakti. That means he will turn that love that you have for him towards your own soul, which is your own self, the higher self. Atman Bhakti, devotion to yourself, can only happen when you start having Guru Bhakti. The moment the Guru Bhakti is a gift from the Guru. Understand? You cannot create Guru Bhakti by yourself. It is the master's grace to give you Guru Bhakti. Once you have the Guru Bhakti, hold it with your dear life. Never lose it for whatever reasons, anything, or give up anything that take you away from Guru Bhakti. Okay? This is the advice I give everyone as well. Never lose Guru Bhakti. It's the most precious thing that you can ever have. Understand? Because some people I've seen, they have Guru Bhakti. After hearing all this nonsensical noise outside from media, from some abuser, they lose the Guru Bhakti. And they become also, they join the camp of the abuser. That is the worst thing that can happen to any seeker, losing Guru Bhakti when it is a gift from the Guru. Don't ever lose Guru Bhakti. Hold it with your dear life. That's all I can say. Okay? Never lose Guru Bhakti. Too precious, too much missing. Too big a missing if you ever lose Guru Bhakti. So he said the master is like a pawn. You know how the pawn will look at your reflection. He will show you who you are. So he's like a mirror which the disciple can simply look into and see his own reflection. See your own reflection through the mirror or through the pawn. He's the way to show you who you are. Okay? Now, let's enter finally to the chapter 11, which is the concluding chapter of this book. Rising in love with the master. The last chapter is about becoming one. It means merging into the master where there's no more separation and no more differentiation. So he said, the moment you become my disciple, it means you are dropping all ideas of separation. So in the beginning, you will drop the idea of separation from me. You will experience oneness. Then soon this oneness will grow and you will start feeling it with the whole existence. The whole of existence, you feel this oneness with this whole existence, not just oneness with the Guru. then everything will be one. There will be no separation. There will only be one cosmic whole. Because whatever you feel, the whole outside, you feel inside, everything, there's no differentiation anymore. So next slide. So here's a Zen story. You know how Swamiji loved to tell a Zen story in this book. So this is another Zen story. So listen, he said, this story is about this Zen master called Kakwa. Okay, Kakwa is a Zen master. He's a Japanese Zen master. He went to the China to study Zen. And he lived in the mountains, okay, where he would be continuously able to meditate in silence without disturbance from common man. And if people come and discover him and his hideout, where he hide away from society or from humanity, and come and start pestering him to speak, ask for teaching on this, he will say a few words, blah blah blah, and then he'll move on to a less accessible place. That means he will move away from humanity, because he likes to stay in silence and in a mountainous area. So one day he came back to Japan after spending time in China. He returned to Japan. So the emperor of Japan sent for him, and the emperor requested this Zen master to teach him Zen, as well as the subjects, right? Whatever he had learned, about enlightenment and meditation. So this Kakwa stood in silence for some time, looking at the emperor. Then he took out his flute, is a musical instrument, a flute, and started to blow a short note. So he played a short, musical piece. And then after playing that single note of Zen, he made a courteous bow and then disappeared. So what does it mean? What does it mean? What is the story that Swamiji is trying to tell in this Zen master? Let me see how many of you are able to catch this story. Why is Swamiji bringing up this story? Anyone? Figure out? Okay, we go to the next few slides, then we come back. Okay, next slide. So, the answer lies in this communication and communion. Understand? He said, see, there are two things you need to understand the difference: communication and communion. You must understand the difference. If you don't understand, then you never experience communion. Understand? He said communication happens all the time. You talk to me, I talk to you, we try to understand each other. It is from ego, the mind. However, communion happens between two beings. It's a deep merging that comes from within the being. So communication is like the sharing of ideas, thoughts between two minds. But communion is sharing of energy. It happens in complete silence. In that silence, it is like a merging where you lose your identity. You don't even feel this identity as you. You just feel that silence, the same kind of space. Understand? So see, for Kakwa, the Zen master, the reason why he wants to stay away from the humanity is because he's in such a deep communion with nature, with the source. Understand? But the emperor wants to take him away from that experience of being in that source. So for him, he just blow the flute and they just say, okay, this is, put him in. Of course, the musical vibration will put the emperor in some kind of silence, and then he slowly disappeared. He just shared that gift with with the emperor so that he can experience the same communion with that silence. Next slide. So when you sit around me, Swamiji said, after some time you will be shocked to see the watch. So many hours would have gone by. This is because when you are with me, there is a beautiful communion that is going on. This is the merging of the master and the disciple. If you have a chance to sit with Swamiji, I remember in the program, the first in awakening, we sat with him in the unclutching for hours. And he would make us sit for many days. After the initiation, he would make us sit, so many hours in silence with him. He'll be seated in front and we'll just be sitting. And he would say, he would trick us, say, half an hour. We'll sit half an hour, but no, it's not half an hour. Like 3-4 hours would have gone by. He'll just tell us half an hour, but actually it's not half an hour. And we're like, so long we have sat with him. Oh my God. So that communion with the master is what, that make you experience the merging of that between the master and the disciple. He said one more thing, you'll never be my disciple. We tried to say, we're a disciple. He said, I'm only a link. I'm just the link for you to become the disciple of the divine, a disciple of the existence, which is Paramashivam. Understand? He said, you're not my disciple. I only link you back to become the disciple of the cosmos, the existence. You become a disciple through the master. Through the master's initiation, you now become a disciple of the cosmos. I'm only the door for you to enter. He said, the other side of the door is where you need to go. I open the door for you to enter into that relationship with the divine, with the existence. Understand? Got it? Next slide. So he said the master is only visible from the invisible. This is because the ego will not be able to relate with something that is not seen. The ego cannot relate with formless initially because we are in form, and the ego wants to feel what is solid, what is predictable. So actually the master is both visible and invisible. So when you initially come to the master, he said, you will know only the visible, what is obvious in front of you. But as time passes by, as you become more and more mature, become more and more evolved, the invisible becomes clear to you. You can experience the invisible part of him more and more, rather than only the visible part. You begin to feel the absence in the presence, and the presence in the absence. So the closer you come to the master, the deeper you go, the less you will be able to find him. As you move deeper, finally the invisible is revealed to you. The invisible, that means the formless, shall be revealed to you. Okay? So understand, move from communication to communion. That's why sitting in silence is needed for the communion to happen. That's why a lot of time, many of us, after yoga, we sit with Swamiji in silence for the communion to happen. And this is a time whether you download messages, sometimes new clicks happen, you find a solution which you have been struggling for a while, or you get some inspiration and some creative expression happen. So that's the time when you're in that silent space, the spark of creativity happens. So that's why he said more and more go deep, because by your very nature you are all powerful, all knowing. That part of you is only revealed to you when you become silent, and the master is the reason to make you sit in silence with him after the initiation. Okay, next slide. So here's another story about Bodhidharma. So Bodhidharma sat for 9 years staring at a wall. You know how Bodhidharma is a disciple of Buddha. All of you know, right? Bodhidharma is a disciple of Buddha. Okay? And that was his meditation. He just sit staring at the wall. Even in Vipassana, I know some people just go on Vipassana's retreat for like 10 days or 20 days, I don't know, they sit facing the wall. So when the disciple would come to him for guidance, to Bodhidharma, he would simply tell them, go and sit and gaze at the wall. That is his instruction, because he's doing that also. So now, after a few hours, many these so-called people who come to him for a solution, they will leave, because what to do? Simply sitting and gazing at the wall, they're not interested. They feel, what can I see in the wall? So many of them left. But those who stay on and trusted the Master's word attained the highest peaks that have been available to humanity. Those who have the patience and trust in the Master, whatever the guidance was given by this Bodhidharma, they actually flower, the being flower, and they experience the peaks, that means the ultimate. And the whole Zen stands on Bodhidharma's ideology. So this is just one short story that Swamiji shared. Next slide. Another Zen story. He said, this is a story of an old Zen master. Okay, this is very interesting story. He said a Zen master was becoming old, aging, and he announced to his disciple that he's looking for someone to whom he will pass on the monastery. That means take over his monastery when he leave the body, and who would take care of them, and who would take care of the mission as well. So take care of the monastery and his mission. He said he would choose the disciple who would submit the best poem showing his understanding of Buddhism. Okay, so this is the Zen master's task to the devotees or the disciple. He said, whoever get the best poem and who's able to decode Buddhism in their poem, I will appoint the person as the next person who's going to take over my mission. So everybody thought for sure that this new, this chief monk, they have a chief monk in the monastery. His name is Sen Shui. Okay, they all think that Sen Shui would be chosen because he's a chief monk. You know, he'd been there for a long time following the old Zen master. So they all thought that he's going to be the chosen one. So they did not even try to compete. He's a chief monk. He had been there for so long. He surely know he will win. But this Zen Shui was not so sure of his understanding. He has doubt that he will understand fully the teaching of Buddhism. So he wrote a poem on the wall of the master's quarters without putting his name. He write the poems without putting his name because he wasn't quite sure. If people know that he's the one who wrote this and he wasn't the teaching, he will feel embarrassed. He look malu face. So this is what he wrote on the wall. The Bodhi tree is the body. The mind is the shining mirror. Make sure that you wipe it and let no dust stick to it. Okay, so this Zen Shui, the chief monk, wrote this 4 statement on the wall. Okay, next slide. The next morning, when the master came and read the poem written by this Zen Shui, but there's no name on it, he asked his disciple to burn incense. That means, like a prayer before it, and said that whoever practiced what is in the poem would realize their true nature. So Zen Shui told him in private that it is he who had written the poem. Then the master turned and said to him, your understanding is not yet perfect. So the next morning after that, another poem appeared beside Zen Shui's poem. Okay, another poem. He said, there never was a Bodhi tree. There is no bright mirror. Nothing exists. So where is the dust to stick to it? Question mark. Okay? Next slide. So the master knew that only Hui Neng, this is a very junior monk, okay, the most junior monk, could have written it. He rubbed up the points with his shoe, okay, and secretly tell Hui Neng to his room. Call Hui Neng to his room. He rubbed the point. The master told him to take care of everything after his death and told him to run away to the mountain and stay there until the monks got over their hurt feeling and were ready to realize he's the rightful heir to this whole the monastery that he has handed over. He's the person that was going to take over. He said to receive Hui Neng's teaching publicly. So he said after his death, just move to the mountain, stay away for a while, and then till all the monk has gotten over their hurt feeling that the person who's going to take over the monastery is the youngest monk among them, which they would have not expected. They would thought that the chief monk or the senior monk would get, to be appointed as the person who's going to continue the mission. But the Zen master picked the youngest monk who was able to digest Buddha's teaching perfectly in that short poem. So Hui Neng did so and went on to become one of the greatest Zen master ever in Japan. He said, understand, I'm not there and you're not there. None of us are there. There is only a great emptiness that is. It is this emptiness that you have forgotten. You're empty. You're just vast emptiness. And it is this emptiness you're here to remember. You're here to rediscover. Understand? This emptiness is your being. So all of us are here to experience the truth of who you are, which is this vast emptiness. So that is the Zen master's teaching. Then also Swamiji's last note on this chapter, which is rediscover the emptiness that has always been there. Next slide. So now you can ask any question you have, or you can even share. Before you put back the slide, Anudeta. So you can either ask any question you have so far, or you can share your thoughts after having attended the last 10 sessions. See, even though it's 11 chapters, on the 8 and 9 we combined, so we only had 10 sessions on this book. So it'd be nice to have some of you share what you have gained through this book. A deeper understanding with the relationship with the master, the guru. What have you discovered? What are the clicks that you gained from this whole 10 sessions? Anyone want to share? You can unmute yourself. Anyone here?
Maybe I share.
Okay, you just talk to the mic. Okay, Jadasarika want to share.
It's very difficult to surrender and remove the ego.
So you know that this is the hardest part, right?
Very hard. I realize that.
And
even
then?
always I feel that I surrender. But actually I also never surrender.
That's what he said. You never surrender. Nobody surrender. You only surrender to yourself. Understand? So the more and more you discover who you are, the more and more you're able to surrender to this higher self of you. That is the reality. This is the secret. because we never surrender to the master. I also, I fully understand because I will say no to him. Even he say yes to him, say yes to the master, say yes to life. But at some point in time, the mind will say no, I don't want. So yes. Anything else? What about anyone from the Zoom room? What have you learned? Especially for Paul, because you're so new. Remember, you wanted to know more about what you call that? Surrendering to the guru, all right? You wanted to learn more about this guru-disciple relationship.
Yeah. Thanks for taking us through. I think this book is really quite a work of genius because it does, explain seemingly very abstract, if I can say, like pretty abstract concepts lah, if I can say, like to me, and like you said, it's very new. But then again, after digesting, and just now, you recap all the chapters, it's also similar to, I mean, what I remember from Buddhism teachings as well, right? Like it's everything is just emptiness. And yeah, I mean, in terms of like surrendering, it's not really to the master, but it's actually to your, to your higher self, discovering your higher self, and then, really being in union with existence. So yeah, this is like the summary and the main takeaway, that I guess it is that journey for every one of us, but yet it is a very personalized journey for each of us as well.
Indeed. See, Hinduism is the source of many of this religion, like Buddhism, Zen Buddhism. They are a subset of Hinduism, whether it's Jainism, Sikhism, all these sub branches of the main mother religion, which is Hinduism. Okay, Sanatana Hindu Dharma. So that's why you can experience or recognize certain similarities, right? The Buddhism, all that is because it's coming from the same source. The technique may be different because different master experience things differently. So Buddha may have picked the breath as a technique, and some other master may have picked certain things, right? So, but in the core of the teaching is to discover the emptiness that we are originally come from, and also the bliss that we are, which is our true nature. Okay, so that one has never changed in any of this Eastern religion that we talk about, whether it's Buddhism, Zen Buddhism, or Hinduism, even Taoism as well. So they're all coming from the same source, but different branches. See, Swamiji said that in Hinduism there are 10,000 sub-branches, sampradaya. And Buddhism is one of the subset of that 10,000, okay, including Zen Buddhism. So you're right to say there's certain similarity in the core of the essence. And what makes a difference is having a living master versus having just only the teaching of the master who had left the body. Understand? See, right. Buddha is no longer in the body. His teaching remains on planet Earth. But we need a living master who can light the lamp for us, that pass, the initiation, that means transmission of the energy through initiation, diksha. That is needed in the Hinduism for the disciple to evolve, for the disciple to experience the ultimate initiation. Because before we meet the master, the lamp is not lit. Only coming to the master, he lights that lamp within us. So that's why they have to come down again and again, incarnation, and like the master come down again and again to light the lamp for us. They don't need to come down, actually, right? They are already there. But why they choose to come down again? It's because of their compassion. The pull of the suffering on planet Earth is too intense. That's why this time around, we brought the incarnation back again, which is Swamiji, who's embodiment of Paramashivam. See, many incarnation has come and gone, but this time around, because the intense suffering on planet Earth, we're in the low consciousness, right? Yeah. See, without when everything is at this low, he say when Krishna will also say in the Gita, say when too many, people fall into the unconscious, again and again he appear, again and again he resume the form on planet Earth to put things right again. So that's why Swamiji has landed again on planet Earth to liberate us and raise the collective consciousness and put things basically in place for the continuity of not only humanity but the continuity of the science of living enlightenment to remain on planet Earth, because too much has been destroyed. So he's here to revive, bring him back again to the past glory. So that is his mission. Any other question anyone want to share? Thank you, Paul, for sharing.
Sure. Maybe if I could just add on and also to ask, because I think for humanity, right, or in fact, most of us will feel like, are we really, supposed to be blissful inside? So I think that is a big question mark for a lot of people. And, the thing about, like, for example, the emptiness, or even just now the Zen master story about being able to sit, looking at a wall or feeling, being in that meditative state for a long time. I think this is something that, yeah, probably even I'm also struggling. It's like, I can't really sit still with myself. Yeah, so
See, this one need certain alchemy. Okay, not just the yoga prepares the whole body, but also the guru's initiation ayah. For me, I can only sit after Swamiji did certain initiation to us and make us sit. So it's just learning how to see when you can only sit once you lose body consciousness. Otherwise, the pain and the disturbance of the body can never make you sit for long hours. So that means what? When you sit, you need to be able to tune to the silence and lose the body consciousness. That preparation needs to happen so that you remove all the tamas. Tamas means lethargic energy or dullness. Because the lethargy and dullness will make you fall asleep and then you come to an awareness. Or the toxin in the body, like, the dullness is caused by certain impurities in the body, like toxin. All this toxin will create pain in the body, in the joints. And because of this pain, how can you sit when you have all this toxin, right? So that's why in this journey, the first thing Swamiji make us work is purify the body, whether it's through diet, whether it's through yoga, through a lot of Ayurvedic herbs. All that is to prime the body for silence, to experience the bliss. You have to be able to sit with yourself in that silence. Before you can do that, that body mind needs preparation. That takes some time.
right. Thanks. Yeah, because I was wondering, how do you guys manage to sit without pins and needles?
He trained us, Lord.
Yeah.
I also, before that, I can
And
sit.
yoga helps also.
Yeah, yoga is definitely a big part to play. See, before I met Swamiji, I was already a yoga teacher, but I can never sit in Padmasana for long hours before feeling the pains and the pins and needle. Only after he initiated us into this N-Kriya, this 7-step N-Kriya in 2011 January, I remember. So this N-Kriya would take about at least 45 minutes to go through the entire practice. After that, the last step, you're supposed to sit in silence. Okay, so I remember in 2011, I practiced this N-Kriya for 9 months. Okay, every day. Okay, and there'll be days I sat for hours, like 2 hours. And because I lost body consciousness, I just sit there and I come back. Oh my God, how can I sit for long? I'm so gone for so long. And then I didn't even feel my body, my legs. I don't even feel my legs. So it was only when I was taken into the altered state of consciousness, I don't feel the body pain, and the body start to adjust itself. The body start to learn how to sit. So it's like a training of the body only when you're in the altered state of consciousness that can happen. If your mind is still here, you cannot sit for that long because the pain will come, the pins and needle will come, the itchiness will come, you start scratching, and then you start shaking, you start, all the kind of restlessness will happen. Fidgetry, you get fidgetry, right? Only when you enter into that silence, altered state of consciousness, you forgot about your body. You don't even move. You're like a statue. You just sit in silence. So that can only happen for when you prepare the body to sit. Okay? So that's my personal experience. Before that, I cannot sit for so long. Only after the N-Kriya, I can sit for so long. I can sit for and Swamiji said that if you can sit for at least 2 energy cycles, 42 minutes, your heart will be at the peak. That means your heart functioning will be at its peak. That means you will never have any heart diseases, any issue related to the heart, the circulatory system. Your circulatory system will be so powerful that no disease can touch you related to the heart. No heart diseases at all. So he said if you can sit for at least 42 minutes without feeling the pain and restlessness, in silence. Okay. Anyone else want to share?
I want to answer Paul's question, but it's because you say blissful, right? It's a nature. I didn't know this also, but you must come and experience Pratangira Puja. That time when I first attended the puja, I was anything but happy because I'm already late. But how come you're late? The puja already started. I got very frustrated already, I said, I'm moody already. When I go there, I just... Then when she landed, I was able to smile. I just smiled. I'm asking me, how come I'm smiling? How come that is like a bliss? I literally feel bliss. That means she removed all my negativity and everything. That's the power of Patangira. Then I'm like, hey, actually, I just forgot or whatever, all those, just now I was moody, the frustration. Everything just disappeared like that, And then I was thinking, how come I'm smiling? I can still smile. It's that the bliss she remove all the negativity, the bliss will come out, So that's why I realized, hey, actually our nature is bliss. It's just that every day, because we face all the Maya stuff, this that we got so many things to like commitment things like that many things. You forget about all this, what the bliss and all this. But it's inside. So when Patangira, then she remove all this all the negativity that it comes naturally already.
Right. Thanks so much for sharing.
So you can discover the bliss through meditation or yoga, or you can experience the bliss by sitting with the deity or with the master. So not only just the deity, there are many ways that you can suddenly awaken to your own nature. So yoga is definitely one way, meditation is definitely one way, sitting with the master is one way, and sitting with even the deity initiated or energized by the master will also have similar effect.
Sure.
Anyone else want to share? Either Anadeta or Paul? Sorry, Rosita.
Yes. This book has lots of questions raised by the devotee and disciple. So some of the questions is also I also have those questions. So when hearing those answers, I got some kicks from there, and also I also experienced those pulling and also going.
The fight.
Yes, and also got some in the past experience also have the angry feeling with Swamiji too, because I know that some of the mess is created by him. So so somehow, but I just cannot escape him. His feeling. Yeah. So
So you become angry because you know that he's the one behind the mess, right? He's creating all the chaos, right? Yeah.
yes. He played the whole drama behind. Yes.
Yeah, you know that he's la 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 creating all the drama, and then you're like
Yeah. So hearing those answers, so make me have the pics. Yeah, and feel and have more understanding. Yes.
Great. So now I would say your relationship with Swamiji would improve after understanding what you're going through or what he's putting you through, right? You have less resistance. Oh, okay, I know you're doing some surgery on me. Okay, come. Before that, you're like, fight, or you want to escape, you run away, right? This is what happens. You try to run away because but in the book he tell you 无路可逃, you can't run. He said, even you try to disappear in this body and you pop out on another, country on planet Earth, where you will run? You're still going to be under where his source, right? He's the source, so you can't run. Even though you think you can run, you can't really run. Yes. I remember, I tell you, I share one personal experience. When I was going through the separation and divorce with my ex-husband, okay, the period. I know he's the one making it happen. Actually, I already knew this is going to come, okay. But when I was going through it, I know he's the one basically making it happen in my life for my own transformation. But I had to go through the grief and the pain of the lost, right? So I remember I was here on one Friday doing the puja, okay? And then while I do the puja, I ran to Pratyandira and just held her feet and just cried to her, okay? Because I won't cry to the master because he's the one doing it, so I cried to the deity, the Devi, right? So I remember Swamiji say that when the Guru is working on you, that means churning you, right? Transforming you, doing the surgery on you. He said it's okay to go, to the deity, because the deity will help to cushion the pain or the hurt or whatever, that help you raise you up again. That means where you need so he said have deity and the Guru, because they both, although they are from the same energy, but they serve different purpose when you're going through this journey of transformation. So while the Guru is, I know he's making me transform because he's a living master, but the deity is a living energy where I feel also deeply connected. So I can see how the both of them play a different role in my whole spiritual journey. So, what about Rosita? You want to share?
Yes, I'm also got the from previous session noted that Swamiji will create chaos into us. So it's at first is surprise for me. Hey, he's not going to help us, man. Why create chaos? But I understand the context of creating this chaos is to use another way to help us to shed all the conditioning as sometimes maybe he already taught us some method or some theory and ask you to need to go through, but for my case I if I don't want to look in, then he will send somebody to me to help me to
Yes. Yeah, same way. Like he will send the people to transform you also, right? When you're not ready to listen, when you're not ready to do the action. See, I say in your heart, you know this is what you need to do, but you're resisting because you don't want to do. You're too comfortable. So because of you, see, you as Paramashiva, you are also residing in all the beings. So you wanted that transformation. So the other bodies who's also the same energy, because you wanted to transform, will come and remind you. Because there's no other. He said there's no other. Everyone is you, you're in everyone. Okay? So the way how, even when someone come and tell you, hey, you need to look at this, please be very clear that someone who come and tell you is also part of you. This is the secrets of authenticity. When you become authentic, you realize that there's no other. The other being who's coming here to tell you, to raise you, to remind you, is also part of you. Then you have no more resistance. Yeah, that's just me reminding myself. Okay, but just through another body. So that is so amazing when he revealed this deep secret about authenticity. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I never thought about that in this perspective. This is just too high ground, taking everything in a high ground. Because every time we would say, okay, I'm responsible for what I do, but why am I responsible for someone else who's, who I cannot control? Then he said, no, everyone is part of you. You're in everybody. So when you take the responsibility for others, you will show them their inauthenticity. Then they will realize, and then again they can raise themselves to higher authenticity, to become authentic. He said, if you are not authentic, the person is not authentic, both of you will be in low consciousness because of inauthenticity. But if you raise yourself by taking the responsibility, at least you will be able to elevate the other person by showing your authenticity. Understand? So this is the truth that Swamiji revealed when he talked about the authenticity. Okay, so you want to say? Yes, Ma.
Yeah, just want to add, because I think I'm one of those people who is sort of guilty of guru hopping and seeing that maybe another guru is probably better off, because yes, Swamiji has given me his share of chaos as well, more than enough. But I think in the end of the day, I always come back to him, which is what Madhurika has probably noticed. And yeah.
Like I say, where will you run?
It's like the pendulum going back and forth. So I've been doing that for quite a while. I think this time Swamiji managed to sort of get me grounded.
Into the into the Sangha.
get me grounded a bit more.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, but I think after at the end of it all, right, I think we got ourselves the best guru that we can possibly
Yes.
get hold of. Yeah, so
We couldn't ask for more.
we are all really lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have Paramashiva coming down to planet Earth as our guru. You know how many janmas of praying and yearning to have him, you know. So that's why I said, don't lose this Guru Bhakti, because to even love him, it is his gift. He chose to give you that. Understand? Not you want. Only when you look at you, he give you the Guru Bhakti, you can only be able to feel the love for him. It is his gift. If you, for some people, you will never look at them, you know, to give the Guru Bhakti, the person, even if you look at Swamiji, will never trigger that kind of emotion. So understand, Guru Bhakti is his gift. So you can pray and ask him for that gift, so that you can forever, eternally can celebrate, you know, the devotion. This the juicy part of being a devotee, the juicy part of living with the master.
Yeah. We have to have at least, for the past at least 10 lives, we are Hindus before we can get him as our guru.
Yeah. See?
Because I went through there's this Paramashivam program, right? They got this past life regression. If you go into it, then you can see past life, who you are. Then you'll be shocked that I was like, wow, I'm really very sorry.
And jump to the fire, right?
And when I go very sorry and then jump down into the fire, I'm like, whoa.
How many births that you have been a Hindu? I was another yogi living in the Himalayas before, and I was a balasan in Meenakshi's era. I had lived with Swamiji when he was in Meenakshi body. So be very clear. All of us who are now sitting in Swamiji's presence means we have come a long way.
Yes.
To receive this in this life. So blessed we are to be able to be his disciple, to live around him, to live with him. So this book forever is one of my favorite book of Swamiji. Get back to the slides. Thank you all for sharing. So I'm going to conclude last few slides. So once again, we're encouraging everybody to attend the Paramashivam, the daily initiation in the mornings at 7 a.m. Singapore time. And leading up to the grand celebration on Guru Purnima, which is next weekend on Sunday, please come and experience the grand celebration of this season, which is the culmination of this season to the Guru Purnima celebration. So we will be, the Adinam will be open very early in the morning. If you want to offer Parapuja, 5 a.m. is a Parapuja, and the Adinam will open by 4 o'clock in the morning. So that we are start preparing. So we'll spend the whole day with Swamiji. There will be a live presidential address, live darshan, as well as releases. And as you all know that in this, he has already publicly announced that he will release more information on the location of the sovereign land. So many things will be announced on the day some great, happening is going to be shared with the whole world. Please be there to receive this message. After all, it's a Sunday morning. So let us come to the Adinam and really be with the Master's energy, because he can see us and you can actually experience the powerful energy field where he's breathing. He's living and breathing in this Adinam. Understand? Wherever he initiates, wherever he put the deities that he has consecrated and is energized, done the prana pratishta, is living here. So do come, attend the daily satsang and initiation as well as the Guru Purnima. Next slide. So next Wednesday, we will not have any lesson. Then I'll come back after Guru Purnima. I'm going to start a new book.
Next Wednesday, no lesson.
Next Wednesday, no, because we're going to be busy with Guru Purnima preparation. So next Wednesday we'll be busy with Guru Purnima preparation. You know, a lot of Guru Modi, putting the Guru Modi, dressing up and all that. So and causing and all this kind of thing we're going to be doing. So I will start with this new book. I was deciding between Book of Surrender and versus Inside of the Avatar. Okay. Then I looked through. Hey, this one, this is good. This is because all this volume 1 is a compilation of. It's a compilation of Swamiji's satsang, and he reviews some of very important cliques. So I want to share that insights. I think there are 108, if I'm not wrong, 108 insights from the Avatar. So we'll do that because each insight is very great topic, or I would say revelation for each individual to cognize, and also it's like the seed where he's planting for all of us to sprout. So I wanted to start this insights from the Avatar, which is all the very powerful cliques that he gave in the earlier satsangs. Okay, not the recent satsang, maybe before 2018, some of the satsang from 2018. Okay, before 2018. So that is the last slide. With that, I thank you all for being part of this whole journey with rising in love with the Master. And what best is, we're going to celebrate Guru Purnima. So please express your devotion. Basically, you can express your devotion by sharing a short video, a 1-minute video of your journey with Swamiji. So do record, and we can compile, and we can start sharing in the social media before the whole, as a lead up to the Guru Purnima. Okay, so you can do that if you feel like you want to express your gratitude and how Swamiji has transformed you. Please create that 1-2-minute video and share it with us. So you can share it also on your social media. Then we can all put that together. So with that, let's conclude with the Purna mantra. Let's join the palms together. Thank you all for joining. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Saubham Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam Partha Paramastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you, Nithyananda. See you again.